One thing I will say was an observation I made today, that walls and fences must work because it took me an hour and 15 minutes to walk from the garage to get here. So walls should be put up on the border, and we need to keep the migrants going through a legal process.
Oh, what a great point right there. That was former DEA Special Ops Agent Derek Maltz at a congressional hearing yesterday on crime, terrorism, and homeland security. The crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border is the worst we've seen in 15 years, but the White House is still referring to the situation as nothing more than a challenge. Derek Maltz is joining us now for more on the situation on our southern border. Derek, welcome back to the show. Nice to see you again, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me back.
First of all, I think you said that so succinctly. I hope they were listening and actually heard you when you said that yesterday. I want to show you some video. This is of one of the drug cartels literally bringing migrants over to Border Patrol on the U.S.-Mexico border there. According to the New York Times, 3,200 kids have been detained in the last 2 weeks alone. We haven't seen those numbers in 15 years. How bad is the problem right now on our southern border?
Well, first of all, we have CBP, unfortunately, transitioning from the role of border security to migrant care. And that's the plan of the cartels. They want to divert the attention to the migrants because they know Border Patrol cares about people. They're going to take care of these migrants, but then the cartels are going to move drugs and special interest aliens in the other open areas of the border. They're also then going to open up the floodgates for the weapons and the cash to come into Mexico. So it's basically a perfect storm at the border, and it's created by this worldwide perception of come to America, everything's free, we'll take care of you, we'll make sure you're safe. But meanwhile, nobody talks about the journey that these people are making, the sexual exploitation, the child exploitation, the violence. And then, of course, last month, 2 months ago in January, we had 19 migrants that were stopped. They were burned to death because they didn't pay the tax to the cartels. So this multi-billion-dollar enterprise, the cartels are running everything.
Yeah, this
and
is
it's
not,
really getting worse.
This is not hop on 95.
Got to wake up.
This is not hop on 95 and take a trip in a convertible to the border. This is ugly the entire way there. And then when they get there, for the ones that make it there. Mexican President Obrador, and this might be why our borders are even more porous right now, he said, this is a quote of Joe Biden, quote, "They see him as the migrant president, and so many feel they're going to reach the United States, finally." Is that the situation? Is that why we've got this surge? Because they think that Joe Biden is just it's a green light, the doors are open?
Absolutely. I mean, they're shouting Biden, Biden, they're wearing T-shirts about Biden, and you know what? It doesn't make sense. If you listen to the experts who have been on the border, I mean, look at that video. It's like Disney World. People are lining up, hundreds and hundreds are lining up, getting on the rafts, coming over, going to the Border Patrol. So the President of the United States and people that are not paying attention to national security are advocating for this, and of course they want to come. Most of these migrants, unfortunately, are trying to get to America for a better life.
Right.
Of course they want free health care. Of course they want to have free education. That's understandable. But we have schools that are closed. We have families that are ruined and businesses. And look at this fentanyl crisis.
Yeah.
You know, there was over 4,000 pounds of fentanyl seized already. That's more, 4,900 pounds was seized. That's more than all of last year. Remember, 1 kilogram kills 500,000 people.
And this is a totally self-inflicted crisis, we should add, that has developed over the last 51 days of the Biden administration. I thought this was a joke, but on Wednesday, Roberta Jacobson, special assistant to the president, said that immigrants should not come to the U.S. right now. Take a listen.
I want to be clear. Neither this announcement nor any of the other measures suggest that anyone, especially children and families with young children, should make the dangerous trip to try and enter the U.S. in an irregular fashion. The border is not open. Going forward, we will continue to look for ways to provide legal avenues in the region for people needing protection while we continue to enforce our laws. This is a process. We have a great deal to do.
Moments later, she said the border was open in Spanish and then corrected herself. But we're in the middle of a global pandemic right now. Shouldn't that have been the message from the Biden Brain Trust months ago, before he was ever president, that the border is going to remain closed until we figure out COVID at the very least?
100%. And this video depicts how disconnected Washington is. These people are not at the border. They have no idea what's going on. They're not listening to the experts. Like Tom Holman recently said, the former ICE director, you know, it's not even illegal to be illegally here anymore. I mean, it's insanity. And, you know, that video I talked about, the fences at the Capitol, I was absolutely disgusted. It was so sad to see hundreds and hundreds of National Guard with M16 rifles. There was nobody to protect. It was like a ghost town.
I was just down there. I saw that.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Wide open.
Yeah, I just saw that down there. It's Occupy Washington right now. We're more than 2 months removed from the January 6 riots. Quickly, the CEO of Greyhound wrote HHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas asking for just assurance that undocumented migrants would be tested before getting on buses at one of the hundreds of terminals in Texas that go to other states, that send buses to other states every day. Then he never heard back. What does that say about how the administration is being run? He never heard back, the CEO of Greyhound.
There's no leadership, and these people are more concerned about just pushing these migrants into the cities, right? All of our cities, they're coming. And the schools are going to be overcrowded. They don't speak English. So we have so many issues coming to our cities. And a lot of them, my understanding is they're not being tested.
Right.
They're getting on buses and they have COVID. So the bus driver doesn't even know.
Right.
So it's really out of control, and it's irresponsible for the citizens that are American here, that are paying their taxes, that are working hard to support their families.
Yeah, to say the very least, sir. Derek Maltz, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us. We appreciate it. Great information as always.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too. Have a nice weekend.